Hello everyone, and welcome back to my A through Z playthrough for Heroes of the Storm. Though I would like to interject here with a decision that I have made regarding the rest of this playthrough at this current time of this recording due to something that I found out. According to what I have heard from Palytime, there is, at the time of this recording, a bug in the matchmaking for quick match where there's supposed to be proper role matchmaking for more balanced compositions and matches. However, it seems to be bugged where, as he described it, you could have one team where it's like 5 assassins, and another team will be a completely balanced comp with a healer, 2 warriors, and 2 damage dealers, and it'll be one-sided. So I have that, along with the fact that in some of the previous cases in this playthrough, some previous videos, I have let sometimes my, I guess I could say emotions sometimes get the better of me in previous videos, such as the ETC video, the Jaina video, which some people did not like. Due to saying that I got a bit salty and toxic. I think maybe the Greymane video as well. So I think along with those couple things in mind, I think I've decided that for the rest of this playthrough, I'm going to be going through each character in AI matches from now on instead of quick match, along with another reason being that if I'm playing against AI, then I feel more comfortable to try and focus on talking more about the character. As opposed to focusing on trying to help my team win. So in that regard, with all that being said, I just want to let you guys know that's what I think I've decided to do for this playthrough moving forward. Since I think that will also make it easier to try and get through these games when it comes to quote-unquote decent videos on these characters. Alright, now that that is out of the way, let's talk the character that we are playing today, and that is Tassadar, who has been in the game for a very long time, since the days of the alpha. In fact, at one point, and this is not necessarily from personal experience since I didn't get to play the game during the alpha, but from guys like Palytime, he has said that during the alpha, Tassadar's level 20 upgrade of one of his ults, called Archon, which back then was called Red Archon, was one of the most overpowered things this game has ever seen. And Tassadar has gone through quite a bit of change. I believe the rework he received was in the past year, or maybe we've actually passed that point. I think it's for certain over the past year and a half. But Tassadar has always been kind of a gray area hero in terms of he's labeled as a ranged support, but he's not really a healer. The only thing he ever really had when it came to quote-unquote healing was his plasma shield, where you would give a shield to an ally, and they would have that shield. You could be able to pick a talent where you could put healing on the shields. So it would get Vampiric Assault to the person who had the shields. So basically, if you put a plasma shield on Illidan, he would get even more healing off his basic attacks. And there was a point in time where when Tracer came out, Tassadar paired so well with Tracer because then Tracer could get healing on all of her basic attacks. It was an insane combination. And it's still a pretty good duo today, though perhaps not as strong as before since both Tassadar and Tracer have kind of been reeled in and are not overpowered like they were back in the day. I believe he's always been looked upon as a utility character with the amount of utility he brings. He brings some shields, he brings some damage with the Sonic Storm, he brings some vision with Oracle, he can be able to put down walls with Force Wall, he can do a number of different things, brings utility here and there. So, we are going to be... I'm not even entirely sure what exactly I want to do here today in terms of a build, but I can also tell you, a about some of my previous experience with Tassadar. As you can see, I have him up to level 20. I've played him quite a bit. I even recall a certain memory about Tassadar before he got his rework. So let's go ahead and delve in today. Let's see, make sure, yeah, I've got the Mechamorph for this really cool mecha skin he had. This may have been the first mecha skin that we ever had in the game, and I just, I fanboyed out seeing this this mount animation where he turns into a jet, because he's basically Starscream from Transformers now with this skin. It's wonderful. Even the lines he says are just great. Hold on, I think that was probably a little too soft. Let me turn it up a bit. But if you couldn't hear him, just now he was saying, Mecha Tassadar Online! Good to see how Tassadar does on this new map. I'm guessing because I'm on the left side, I'm going to be on the Alliance side again, huh? Ugh. Yup. Ugh. This is especially painful with Battle for Azeroth coming out pretty soon.
Are you ready to put your skill to the test?
Status confirmation. Identify
All right.
threat.
You know, there used to be a time where, you know, Tassadar had the
10 seconds.
oh gosh, what was it called? It was the globe. There used to be a generic talent you could pick where you could get regen globes to increase your mana regeneration for the rest of the game. And then they gave him this unique one, but hardly anyone ever picks it. These days, if you're going to go for more of a damage build, you go for Psi Infusion to get more damage and more wider Psi Infusions. Oh, I can give my shields to Sergeant Hammer. Use my dimensional shift there to try and avoid Murky's egg. Alright, let's see. You know what I think I may do? I may do the basic attack build that I think Palatine came up with. Yikes. Alright. Give the shield to me and get some healing. They actually made the healing off the shield a baseline thing. It used to be a talent you had to pick, but now you can just be able to have it baseline, which is pretty great. Ah! I was trying to put my shield on so I could keep on attacking to heal myself there and stay alive there, but nope. Tracer was just a bit too much there. So, because of this healing off the shield, there's actually a memory I have from playing Tassadar back in the day, where I actually ended up playing him as a solo healer in Hero League. Yes, this is true, believe it or not. There was a game I distinctly remember where I actually played Tassadar, and the way it worked out was I believe I was the last one in the draft to pick, and the rest of my team had picked characters that were all emphasizing basic attacks. And I was looking at the healers and I went, you know what? Tassadar could actually be able to get some value here because of all the basic attacking we have going on this team. And so I ended up deciding to pick Tassadar. I didn't even consult my teammates. I believed that I could pull that off. And so I actually ended up playing a pretty good game because of all the basic attack teammates I had, And I think I was named MVP for the balance of damage and shielding that I was able to provide for my team. See if I can focus on the Morales here. Of course, that mud is a bit of a problem. So I can focus on the Morales. Oh yes, run to the mud, where it's very easy for me to keep track of you. So Tassadar used to have just a regular, like, basic attack. But they changed it to this line that applies a slow whenever he attacks. And it used to be a talent that you could choose, but no one ever chose it. But they, I guess, liked the idea behind this, and so they wanted to see if they could be able to add this to Tassadar's base kit and make it where he could be able to apply slows if he wanted to add some extra utility of being able to provide slows for his team. Alright, let's see here. Enhances the beam, extra range. I do like... Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Man, look at the extra damage my Psionic Storm gets simply because of the cavalry on this map. I believe they did kind of recently tune down the cavalry on this map, though it is still pretty strong. Alright, I better Psionic shift out of here. There we go. Give that hammer in case she needs it to stay alive. So let's see, what else is there that's interesting to mention about Tassadar? I mentioned how strong he was with basic attackers like Tracer, Illidan. I mean, Illidan already had the life leech on his basic attacks. He's always had that, but then adding even more along with a shield to Illidan because of this just seemed to make it even better. So if you thought Illidan was already strong, being able to add a Tassadar life leeching shield there in the mix as well was pretty great.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so we finished our level 1 quest, which, by the way, I guess I should mention, it was you have to spend amount of time basic attacking someone, which it now increases the damage as well as the range. Alright, so this is where things get interesting with Tassadar, because you can either go with the Archon, which has always been a old school favorite, with the way he transforms and it does damage. Pretty strong, especially in fights. I'm actually going to go with Force Wall, because it increases the slow of the beam, and you're able to use it more often. And on a map like this, I could see it getting value with the amount of times you're going to want to perhaps shield an enemy away from the objective. So Tassadar is, you know, not necessarily seen as a healer. He never really has been. He's been seen as a support, a utility support, being able to provide shields, provide a wall like this, you know, for zoning and such. I really thought I could finish that off before the egg went off. Alright. Whee! Of course, there used to be a build focused on the dimensional shift where you could be able to use it more often. You could use it to make it go faster and last longer. It was a pretty fun build, if I recall.
Let's free our soldiers and take the fight to the horde.
but the passives that were added here never used to be part of those ults before. That was something they added when Tassadar had a massive rework in recent times. Miss Morales. Ugh. I keep thinking I'll be able to put my shield on, but then I see it on cooldown. It's an 8-second cooldown, which really hurts. The AI teammates. I'm like, come on, go get it. What are you doing? They're just all over the place. Gotta go here and try and stop Murky. Put the wall there so they can't get to me while I stop the breakout. There we go. I can wall Morales in. Keep her right there where I can continue to attack her. Alright, let's go with... this is another one I was talking about, Deep Shift, where you can increase the duration and movement speed of your dimensional shift. There we go. Made her waste her ult. So you guys can get kind of the basic idea here on how Tassadar kind of works. Where he can have, you know, he can bring some things to the table. He's not necessarily great at one thing. He can be good at a couple of things, or a few things here and there, but he's not, like, incredible at one thing. Though he has been a character that has been very sought after when it comes to pro play. Very often in the history of Heroes of the Storm pro play, they have coveted Tassadar as a really strong pick. A really strong, valuable pick with the way he can be able to provide a number of things for his team. Boo! Dimensional shift out of there. Let's help this minion wave move forward. Go get myself some shields. Use those shields to heal up. And I am very close to death. We're gonna Star Scream out of here. Alright, level 16. Let's go with Focused Beam. While it's active, our basic attacks will get stronger. Which, if I complete this, I'll be able to use it more often. Now, of course, you can always interchange this with Resonation here if you want. But that's kind of why I took this, is for this talent here. Alright, so now let's see how he does at taking this camp here. And this is going to get interesting once we get to level 20, because there's another talent that can really make this kind of build pretty fun.
Just spotted more of our captain forces. Get ready for a frenzy break.
I guess one thing to continue on what I was saying about Tassadar being in pro play was that one of the things that he would do is be able to help excel with shield compositions. So I recall, man, there's a game I remember seeing. It was at a HGC tournament. I think it was either in China or Korea. But there was a team, I think it was Ballistics. They ran a comp that featured, I think it was Tassadar, Zarya, Medivh, and a couple others, and it was like a shield comp, and it was a comp that just blew everybody away. It was like, whoa, what is this comp they're running? And it ended up being really good and really strong. With the amount of shields that they were able to provide for each other, it was just so good. I'm sure the details on that, I must have gotten some of the details wrong on that. So if any of you know better, on the details of that game I'm referring to, please by all means remind me and let me know. All right, so there we go. We got the quest done for the takedowns. See if I can focus the gray main here. I cannot focus him down with the other teammates there. Too much burst. Of course, I don't know what this Sergeant Hammer's doing. The hammer was just kind of like wiggle, 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 wiggle. So what I find interesting is that this is what takes place of the catapults on this map. It's pretty cool. I mean, I guess it makes sense for the boss, but... not gonna have many more opportunities for catapults to try and backdoor the core and win it for the team in that regard. But you can see, basic attack build, once it's like beefed up with all these talents here and you've been able to really work on them throughout the game, it can be pretty good. Though we're about to hit level 20, and this is where it can get really fun. I don't think this is the best build for Tassadar, but I think it's a fun build. Alright, level 20, we are now going to go for Prismatic Link. It bounces to 2 additional targets for 40% damage. Look at this. Look at that. By the way, that applies to our healing as well. Look, I can try to box the minions in there. Ah! Dimensional shift out of there. Oh, look at how much healing I'm doing right now. Yikes. Hold on, let me use this wall to get some healing.
Another prison camp, eh? Well, I won't be left standing for long.
A good kill.
Use this mini wave to get some healing as well. Alright, there we go.
Capture this mercenary.
Look at how much damage I'm doing right now with the Oracle, as well as the Prismatic Link to the entire camp. Look at that. Look at all that extra damage I'm doing because it bounces along with using that because it's on a shorter cooldown. Oh.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
Enemy slain. Double kill.
Oh, I walled Diva out. Look at all the healing I'm giving myself with the because it's bouncing to the additional targets. Oh. Of course, I didn't put my shield on myself soon enough in order to protect myself from Tracer right there. Oh my goodness, Tracer is so close. Kill the Tracer. Oh, the Spider Mine did it. The Spider Mine killed the Tracer. Oh, look at that. Asmodan working on that bottom keep there. Meanwhile, Hammer is trying to, I guess, take down the core. Asmodan got the keep. We're winning the objective. Alright, so Tassadar, as you can see, you know, brings a little something here, a little something there, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's so coveted in HGC, because he provides a number of different uses that his team can have depending on what they need, or you know, at least that's how it was before his rework. I've seen him still get some use with his rework that he had, but definitely before he got his rework, he was in HGC either picked or banned, like all the time. He had very high involvement, whether it was getting picked or getting banned in HGC before his rework. He has seen some time in HGC since after the rework, but it seems like not nearly as much as he used to. But you know, that could be a number of things, or it could be that I just haven't been paying attention to as much HGC as I was back then. That's also a possibility. What that egg? Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Oh, I love how it's bouncing to all of them. It's great. And then with all the minions there, I have so many different things to damage and get healing off of. Oh, nice. So, you know, I'd say it's, you know, I wouldn't, like I said, Tassadar, I think, is in a pretty stable position right now. The fact that he is involved in HGC, I think, shows that he's not a garbage character. He's in a pretty good spot. He's not top tier or anything, but he still brings good uses, and like I said, utility has always been kind of the reason he's been a coveted character, whether it's getting picked or getting banned. The build I went with today, Templar's Will, Cause Embrace, Mental Acuity, Force Wall, Deep Shift, Focused Beam, and Prismatic Link. At 13, I think you could also go with Adun's Wisdom, so that while that's active, your basic abilities get a cooldown. Their cooldown is refreshed faster. If you really want to combine it with this along with this, so that's another way you could go. Though I think either one's fine. Nullification, I mean, it's a, you know, if there's a certain damage dealer you really want to try to nerf their damage during a match for a few seconds there, that's a good way to go. Like I said, a few different things here and there that he could bring to the table. Nullification is a good example of that. Shield Battery, giving his teammates shields. You know, he's in a pretty good spot right now. I think he's not amazing or overpowered. He does some things well here and there. He's in a pretty good spot, I'd say. All right, up next we are going to be taking a look at my Warchief Thrall, who has also gone through some changes, and at one point was considered a pretty stable solo lane character, but received some reworks that had people feeling mixed about it, where they think he was changed way too much, but some people also still really like him now, even afterwards. We'll discuss that when we come back.